Hey, what's up devs? In today's episode, we're gonna create a magic navigation menu indicator using HTML CSS in JavaScript. First, we're gonna create this nice UI like a regular menu. Then we're gonna use some CSS for styling it. And for the behavior, it's quite simple and yet powerful. We are gonna look through all these lists and attach a event list to each one of them. Then we're gonna move this indicator thing by 70, giving this very nice effect. Stick to the end of this video and you will increase your web dev skills by creating this awesome project. The idea is learn by doing. Let's get started. Alright, let's start really from the beginning. Okay, starting from scratch, we have this title here, Magic Navigation Menu Indicator. We need also under that a link, connect our markup to our CSS. And down here, close the closing body tag, we need a link pointing to external JavaScript file. Alright. Our boilerplate is almost done. We need one more thing. We need our icons. This time we're gonna get them from this website, okay? It's quite simple. And as you can see, they have a lot of very nice quality icons. Just paste it here and our boilerplate is done. Let's move into the markup. The boilerplate is done. Now let's create our markup, okay? Let's have a nav with a class of nav. We need a li. Let's also give the class of list, okay? We need 5 of them. And inside this one, we need the echo tag pointing nowhere. Remember, right now you're using EMMET, but you can do the regular way. I like this way because it's faster, okay? And we need 2 spans, one span for the icon and another one for the text. So span.icon plus span.text, okay? As you can see, it's done. Alright, as you can see, we have everything here, but let's make it crystal clear what you have, okay? We have a list with the class of list. And inside of that, we have an echo tag, okay, as you can see here. And inside this one, we have those spans, 2 spans. This one, the first one for the icon, and the second one for the text, all right? I'm gonna do the same for all of them. You don't have to, but I like to do that because I'm teaching you, so I want you to be sure about everything you're doing here, all right? So let me speed up a little bit. And as you can see, we have the structure very clear, okay? We have the list, we have the echo tag, inside you have 3 spans, and we close it, okay? Okay, all right, it's done. And let's go to the first one, and the first text is gonna be home, all right? Alright, looks like we have the label home, okay, but we need the label for each one of them, and let's do that right now. Let's go to this site here, Ion Icons, and let's look for home. We found this nice house here. Let's just paste it here in the icon span. I just drop it down and paste it here, and yeah, we have the icon and also the label. Let's do the same one for the second one, but here instead of home we have the person, and for the text let's say profiles. Let's move to the third one, and here let's have the icon of chat bubble, and for the text let's say messaging, okay? We are going pretty well. And here let's have camera, and for the label let's say photos. One more to go, and here let's say settings, and also in the label is gonna be settings, and our simple markup is almost done. We have some basic stuff here, as you can see, just an icon and also a label. Let's move to the Google Fonts, and for here let's import some font, okay? This time, let's use Poppins or wherever you like the most. It's quite simple. You just copy and paste it here. Let's have our CSS reset. But before we have our CSS reset, I want to show you why you have this. I'm gonna create a border around the body, okay, and give the color orange. As you can see, we have a default margin and padding, okay? So let's get rid of this margin and padding, and let's give it our own, okay? So margin 0, padding 0, box size in border box. And now we're gonna use that font family, okay? That one from Google Fonts, the Poppins, and also sans serif as a fallback plan, okay? Let's get rid of this. And yeah, it starts to look better. Let's create a root here, and inside this one you can put things like background color, uppercase, and font size, everything you want. So you can come here and change here instead of go all the code and change that, okay? The body, the display is gonna be flex, alright? This way we can put that in the middle, just like rotate in the middle along the main axis, and along the cross axis align the item center. Let's give it a knee height of 108. And now let's use that color, okay? That one up there on the root, okay? BGC. And as you can see, we have a nice color. Now let's apply some rules to the nav, okay? Our main container here. And let's grab the nav here. Let me give some more space so you can see. And for the position here, we want that to be relative, alright? Let's give a width of 40 pixels, okay? And the height is gonna be just 70 pixels, alright? So you have an idea. Let me give a color. This is gonna help you to have in mind what you create here. So the background is gonna be white, okay? Alright, now you know what you're creating. We're almost there. Display is gonna be flex. Let's align that along the main axis, just like content center, okay? We just put in the center. And now we are gonna do the same along the cross axis, okay? So align items here is gonna be also center along the cross axis. And yeah, we start to take a form, all right? The body radius make the corners a little round. It's gonna be 10 pixels. And as you can see, we have the nav part done. Now let's grab the nav and UL on all the list, and let's use for layout the display flex, and let's give a width of 350 pixels. The nav.ul is done. So now let's move into the list itself. So .nav ul li, let's give the position of relative. We also want to get rid of this ugly boilerplate with list style none. The width of the height is going to be 70 pixels, okay? This is very important. We're going to use that one for the animation. And the Z index here is going to be 1. As you can see, we are going from top to the bottom, okay? We just did the list, and now we're going to do the anchor tags. The position also is going to be relative here. The display is going to be flex, putting side by side, but we don't want that. So let's change that to flex direction column, okay? So they stack on the top of each other. Let's use just like content center, putting the center along the main axis, and along the cross axis align items also center, okay? The width here, we want that to use 100% of transparent, and the text align, we want that to be center, alright? One more thing here, the font weight, we want that to be 500. And now is icons time, okay? Let's apply the same style to our icons. Let me just copy and paste it in here. Navwell li anchor tag dot icon. Okay. And the position is going to be also relative. Display this time is going to be a block. And let's give a line height of 75 pixels. Okay, putting in the center. The font size, let's increase that to 1.5 EM. Text align center. And we also want to change the color. They have to have the same color of the background. Okay, this is gonna help us with the animation. Of course, you can do your own way, all right? This is just a project and you can do the way you want, okay? Transition is gonna be 0.5 seconds. Now let's start working with our animation, with our icons. Right now I'm gonna show you the hover, but it's gonna be different. We're gonna use activate, okay? And it's gonna be out populate using JavaScript. Every time you click, we're gonna grab the class activate, okay? But right now, if I hover over this one, you know what's gonna happen when they're activate. Icons done. Now let's deal with the text, okay? So instead of icon here, we're gonna have the text. Let's change the position, and we want this time the position to be absolute, all right? And the color, let's pick a color. In this case, our background color. The font weight is gonna be 400, all right? The font size, we want to decrease it a little bit. Let's have a space in between the letters of 0.05, and let's have a transition of 0.5 seconds, okay? Different of the icons, this one is gonna have two effects, okay? This is gonna show up. I'm gonna use hover first and show you. This is gonna show up and then change in the Y direction. So the opacity here is gonna be 0. And when this is active, or when you hover over this one right now, you're gonna see the text, all right? This is the effect number 1. And the effect number 2 is gonna be change the position in Y direction, okay? So let me copy this one. Let's change this one to minus, just for 10, okay, 10 pixels. Let's see what we have so far. It looks like the icon goes up and you can see the text very well. I showed you the animation, how we can do that using hover, okay? And now we're gonna move to the real thing. Let's go back to the markup, and here let's do two things. The first one is gonna be creating a div indicator. This one is gonna be that color that you see in the project, okay? Change. And instead of hover, now we're gonna have the active. This one is gonna be toggle using JavaScript, okay? Let me give you some more space here, and let's make some changes, okay? As you can see, every time you hover over this one, we have this nice effect, but we won't have the same effect using the activate. So for the text, let's say activate, and up here for the icon, also activate, okay? This is gonna be done using JavaScript. So far we have this indicator div with no style at all, so we have nothing, alright? So let's apply the same style. The position is going to be absolute, the width and the height is going to be 70 pixels. For the background, just for now, so you can see, let's give it a pink color, okay? And on the top here, minus 50%. Nice. But as you remember at the beginning of the video, I show you it was round. So let's have border radius of 50%, make it round, okay? Let's also apply some border of the same color of the background. It gives a impression that there is a space in here, okay? let's have some transition of 0.5 seconds. Let me just copy this one here and now have a pseudo class, because we want to give the impression that this is gonna move him, okay? So the content, nothing, like usual. The position, we want that to be absolute. The width and height of 20 pixels. The background, just for now, so you can see it's gonna be red, okay? We don't want this in this position, but once you can see, you can apply some styles, all right? That's the idea. And top, let's say 50%, almost there. Now let's move to the left. Left is gonna be minus 22%. You go on the try and error until you get the right numbers. Now the border top right radius, huge name, okay, is gonna be 20 pixels. Let's apply some box shadow here, 0 and minus 10, 0, 0, and let's grab also the background color, okay? Now, the big trick, let's make it transparent. It looks like we did well on the left side, so let's do the same one for the right side, okay? So indicator this time is gonna be after, and here is gonna be right, and here border top left radius. All right, and as you can see, we have the same effect that you have on the left. All right, so let's move on. Okay, devs, we're at home. We're in the realm of CSS where the magic really happens. Let's start by get a reference to our lists, okay, and save that into a variable called list. Why? Because this way we can manipulate that, okay? Now let's create a function. Let's call the function active link, okay? Let's loop it through it to our list for each item. You can call mango or whatever you want. Item dot class list, and you want to remove the class active, okay? If the class is there, we want to remove this, okay? If not, we want to add. So this class list add active, okay? So that's what's gonna happen. And how this is gonna happen? We have to tell the computer, hey computer, what you're gonna do. We're gonna have the list for each one of these items. We're gonna add the event list to each one of them. So item dot add event list on click, and what's gonna happen? We're gonna run this function active link. All right. So let me show you. Okay, this one is active. Now the photos and now the settings. Okay. So as you can see, it is pretty simple, okay? Our JavaScript part here is very easy to understand, but I'm gonna show you here on our dev tools what's really going on, okay? First one, we have this one active. Oh, we click on the second one, and now this one is active, and the first one no more. Now the message active, as you can see here, and now the settings, okay? So we did all this. Use our powerful JavaScript. All right, and now almost finished here. Let's just finish this animation. Let me just copy this. The nav active and child one, so the first one, and also the indicator, okay, the symbol indicator. So for both of them, we want to use transform, translate. Let's calculate. As I told you, the size here and the width is important, okay? 70 pixels. Let me type here, 70 pixels times 0, okay? As you can see, it's in the right position. Let's just duplicate the same thing here. So this time for the second one, for the user, 70 times 1, and let me click here. We go to the second one. Let's just repeat that. Now we grab the third one, and multiply by 2. And we click on profiles, message, and hit yes. Okay, nice effect so far, but just until the third one. So let's move to the fourth one, and 70 times 3. Let me check here. We go to the second, the third one, and the fourth one, and yeah, it's working nice. Now let's move to the last one. Okay, let's give some space here for organization. All right, times 4, and we have this nice effect. Okay, devs, we did it. I really hope you like it. If you like it, hit that like button and also subscribe so you don't miss our weekly video. Bye bye.